Hey everybody, I told you I'd be back soon, so here's part 2 of the list of the top 10 best political movies of all time. Number 5 on my list is a 2012 masterpiece, Lincoln, starring Daniel Day-Lewis in the titular role. In 1965, as the American Civil War winds to conclusion, the president attempts to pass the landmark constitutional amendment which will ban slavery forever in the United States. The race against time is on, since peace may stifle the passage of the amendment that is seen by many to be unnecessary, and since the returning southern states may be able to stop it before it can become law. Lincoln must, by almost any means possible, obtain enough votes by the Republican majority Congress against the Democrats who oppose it. Yet the president is torn, as an early peace would save thousands of lives. As a nation confronts its conscience over the freedom of an entire population, Lincoln faces his own crisis of conscience: end slavery or end the war. Number 4 on my list is the 2017 political comedy, The Death of Stalin. This dark and dry comedy follows, as you would expect, the death of Stalin. One night after suffering a stroke, his much maligned cabinet plots to seize control over the Soviet Union in hilarious power plays that mostly stay true to historical books. It stars Steve Buscemi as the comical Nikita Khrushchev, Jeffrey Tambor as Georgy Malenkov, Paddy Considine as Andreev, Michael Palin as Molotov, like that popular pre-Cold War cocktail, and a whole host of comedic royalty. Who will succeed in the real-life Game of Thrones, where the prize is total control, and the consolation prize may be gulag or death? Number 3 is a film from 1991 that asks the question, who spit that loogie? Oh, oops. Who shot JFK? Get your tinfoil hats on tight, because we're going deep into the rabbit hole to uncover the enigma wrapped in a riddle and stir-fried in flakes of conspiracy. Helmed by Oliver Stone and starring Kevin Costner as Jim Garrett and Gary Oldman as Lee Harvey Oswald, the story picks up with the assassination of John F. Kennedy that brings the country to its emotional knees. After years of commissions and political cover-ups, Jim begins to realize that the death of the president may not be as clear as the government has portrayed it to be. After a string of interviews, DA Jim Garrison accuses Clay Shaw, brilliantly played by Tommy Lee Jones, of conspiring with the government and its agencies to assassinate the president. And this brings considerable backlash to the man out of his depth. It's an unforgettable film with an intense plot that must be watched to be believed. Number 2 on my list is a 2000 film about the Cuban Missile Crisis, 13 Days. It once again casts Kevin Costner in a Kennedy-era movie, this time as a consigliere to the president, in the midst of the realization that the Soviet Union may be placing nuclear missiles in Cuba, giving the evil empire a potential first strike capability. Under pressure from the Joint Chiefs to vindicate themselves from the Bay of Pigs disaster, Kennedy, played by Bruce Greenwood, must find a solution in just 13 days that will keep the world from nuclear annihilation. This true accounting of the crisis dives deep into the world of the president and circumstances surrounding him, with behind-the-scenes bargaining and the infamous UN meeting in which the Soviet Union is shown evidence of the missiles on the island, all the way to the blockade to hold off transportation of the warheads. It's a great retelling of the events, and one that should be watched to truly understand how close we were to World War III. My number 1 political film is a bit of a mystery to many. I'm talking about Charlie Wilson's War. The 2007 movie is the telling of the behind-the-scenes story, the congressman from Texas who loved the ladies. He seemed to be only a minor league player, except for the fact that he was a member of 2 major foreign policy and covert operation committees. After a moment of clarity brought about by a news report about the Russian invasion of Afghanistan, Charlie Wilson, played by Tom Hanks, realizes that something has to be done to prevent the spread of Russian aggression in the region. He teams up with Joan Herring, played by Julia Roberts, and Gus Avocados, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, to play political hardball with Congress in order to get the Russians out of Asia. The film is brilliantly written, and the 3 are tour de force on the screen. It's an homage to the unsung hero of the Russo-Afghan War. Watch it to get a dose of what really goes on behind the scenes in Washington and how things get done. Well, that's my list. Hope you all agree with my picks. Let me know what I missed. Let me know what I got wrong. In this day of political division, Hopefully we can come together around great films. Well, as always, keep watching movies.